I'm starting with some local news. Florida Memorial University, there was an attack. An FMU campus student was sexually battered earlier this week. And when I saw it, I was very much disturbed by it. And the good news is, as of today, I'm going to start with some good news. We are going to report now that detectives in Miami Gardens have held a suspect in this sexual battery case. There was a young student. She was early in the morning on I think a bus stop bench. This a perpetrator had whistled or spoken to her or tried to scream at her or called to her across the street. She went back on campus and then he jumped the fence apparently because if you are familiar with this campus of Florida Memorial College, which is the only HBCU here in South Florida, they do have a guard gate. They do have a kind of perimeter gate, and a guard is usually on duty. Well, when I first saw the story, it really, really upset me. She was dragged behind a building and sexually assaulted. But as I'm reporting now, they have indeed held the suspect, and I'm so happy to hear that because I know the students there are breathing a sigh of relief. And when we have things like this happen, it is very harrowing for people in the community. We don't want our students, especially, to feel at risk of any type of attack or that there's somebody on the loose outside. But we are so grateful that now a DNA sample is what they're reporting, according to NBC6. There has been a man now arrested after a DNA sample connected him to the Florida Memorial University sexual battery. As I told you earlier this week, there was a young woman who was assaulted on that campus. And I just want to bring attention to it because I think of it as this is not the best news. Obviously, we want people not to be uh, uh, hurt in the way that she was. But we have good news that he was indeed caught. We're going to talk about Minnesota as well. But just to start locally, a man is facing charges in the sexual battery of a student at Florida Memorial University, according to NBC6, after DNA evidence tied him to the crime, according to police. His name, this is what I was looking for, Stephen Rivers, 30 years old, was taken into custody on Tuesday in connection with the case, according to Miami Gardens police, right? That was yesterday. All right, this is just happening. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Suzette Speaks. I give you headline news. I give you news you can use. I obviously want to talk about a little bit of politics. Y'all been watching Nicki Minaj. We talk about social media trends. Have you seen the appearance? I'm going to play a little bit of it, of Nicki Minaj on stage with the President, Mr. Donald Trump. I don't know. Was she pledging her allegiance? I don't know. There's a lot of people saying it's very messy. It's not a good look. We saw her already sit on stage just a couple weeks ago across from the widow of pundit Charlie Kirk, Miss Erica Kirk, and she was at Nicki Minaj was one-on-one and did an interview on Turning Point at Turning Point USA's conference, and people already had problems with her because of that. But now we see Nicki Minaj hand in hand, literally hand in hand with Donald J. Trump. And I want to play her comments directly. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But just to wrap up this story, I'm really grateful. And I want to say congratulations. And again, this gentleman is innocent until proven guilty. But we are reporting his identification because the police have made this identification. And again, if you were watching this story and I was following it, my heart was broken when I heard about this sexual battery that occurred at Florida Memorial University in Miami Gardens. And that's the heart of our listening area. I wanted to make sure we talked about it and brought light to the fact that a gentleman, Mr. Stephen Rivers, allegedly has been linked to this crime. He is 30. He was taken into custody on Tuesday thanks to a DNA link. The sexual battery happened on Sunday when the victim told police she was waiting near a bus stop after going out of the campus's front guard gate when an unknown man began whistling at her, according to NBC6. The woman then left the bus stop and walked back towards the campus to go to her dormitory when the suspect followed her, right? He was following her. At one point, the suspect pinned the victim against the building door and sexually battered her before fleeing the area, authorities said. On Tuesday, the tip was received by Opelika police about a suspicious male matching the description of the sexual battery suspect, and Rivers was taken into custody for questioning, officials said. Again, he's innocent until proven guilty, but this, like I said, this particular story bothered me so much because it was a young woman in college at Florida Memorial University. We have to really think about campus security, and the community came together, and we got this person. So I'm happy to hear that. Also on my timeline, are you guys gonna see the Melania movie? They say it's flopping. Now I didn't know who asked for this. Who asked for this? Can somebody tell me who asked for Melania to have a movie? Anyway, this morning I was rushing around. You know, we have to get our paperwork in order, the way things are looking in Minnesota and around the country. I had a passport renewal, so I just came back. Actually, it was very smooth. I got it done within an hour. I was shocked that I guess I just picked the right day and time. But we are still watching very much the ongoing protests in Minnesota. There have now been identified, or excuse me, they haven't identified them, but the two agents that shot the late Mr. Alex Preddy are now said to have been on leave. Now, we heard initially from, what's his name, Bovino, the border czar, that they were still working, that the two alleged individuals, if you're not following the story, I hope you are. This happened in Minnesota, where they took a life of a man who was protecting his neighbor, had a weapon on him that was removed, according to the video, by ICE agents, but yet he still was shot at 10 plus times, according to officials, and lost his life. He was a Veterans Hospital nurse named Alex Preddy. This all took place in Minnesota. Now, what's interesting about this story, there's a little bit of a twist coming about, that there's also video of the late Mr. Alex Preddy at a protest about 11 days prior to when he was shot and killed by ICE. So there's I don't know what I'm looking at. When I see this video, he's definitely, I encourage you, sorry, my headphones are twisting on my ears here. I encourage you to look at the video itself. I know what I'm looking at, which is, this is what I'm saying. I don't know what the purposes of showing this video is, and if it's in the vein of trying to justify why his life was taken 11 days later when he operated in a very different manner. So in the video that is now surfaced, Mr. Alex Preddy, who was the nurse whose life was taken by ICE, right? The Border Patrol people shot him when he was not, brandishing a gun, when he was using his camera to tape what was going on and putting his body between himself and a woman who was being, according to reports, harassed by ICE in that moment. He was tackled to the ground. The second incident, which was where he lost his life, is very, very hard to watch, and you just hear after Border Patrol agents, you can see it for yourself, and I encourage you to watch the video. It's very difficult for some, myself included. I had to stop watching it because I'm watching a man lose his life over and over, and it's not good for your mental, but you have to pay attention, because I think, how many people they say have ICE since the beginning of the year, taking the lives of different folks, both citizens, like the two we have been talking about, Renee Good, the mother who was shot a few weeks back in the face after she was trying to leave in her SUV after being a legal observer, according to reports. Now Mr. Preddy, the ICU nurse, or I think it's the ICU and Veterans Hospital nurse, who put his body in between what he felt, and I can't put myself in his shoes, but it just seems as if, based on the video evidence, he was disturbed by what was happening to a woman who ICE had descended upon, tried to intervene, and then what occurred, again, is on video. You can see it, and it ultimately led to him losing his life. So what I started with saying is there's a new video of Mr. Preddy 11 days before the incident that occurred where he lost his life. Now, in that video, he was very much more, I would call it aggressive or even hostile towards the ICE agents. He kicked their vehicle, he kicked out, I think, their tail light, and he was tackled. But that in that first incident, 11 days prior to when he lost his life at the hands of the federal agents, he was left alone and they drove away. So I don't know if people are trying to use that first video to say that this is a man that operates in a hostile manner and somehow deserves to be uh, to have lost his life. So I want you to realize that this is something that's going to be ongoing, that we have to keep on making sure we stay on top of, because it's not just Minnesota, and he's not just the only one who has lost his life. And we're going to make sure we stay on top of this. Lion is here with me doing a quick switch. I also want to talk about what happened to Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar is a congresswoman from Minnesota. And Ilhan Omar also was attacked. Now, this is something that is, again, this video, you have to watch for yourself. This video bothered me oh so much. Now, she is a controversial congressperson who represents Minnesota, and she was having a town hall. Well, during her town hall, this is the latest update, a man tried to attack her and sprayed something from a syringe on her. Now, one thing about Miss Ilhan Omar, there was a fearlessness, I would say, in her response. When I saw how she responded, it was like, again, in a split second. What do you do? Well, according to The Sun, they're now able to tell us a little bit more about this man who attacked her. And again, if you're not paying attention, just it's okay. I'm going to give you some of the background. Remember, Ilhan Omar is a part of what people call the Squad. And she is a fierce, very, I would say, more liberal member of the Democratic Party. She comes from Somali descent. She represents parts of Minnesota. And she was giving a press conference where she was attacked by a man named Anthony Kaczmarek. I hope I'm saying this right. Kaczmarek, 55. He approached the congresswoman, right? She was at the podium giving a town hall meeting to her constituents when Anthony Kaczmarek, 55, attacked her during this town hall. Now, you got to watch the video. I can't even play it because she does use foul language. She was calling him to step away and very indignant about what happened to her, and she was very upset. And she said she's not going to stop. I'm paraphrasing. She kind of went after him. Another man in the room tackled him. At first, I want to know where was her security, but I want to also highlight some of the interesting background of who this attacker was. After she was attacked and sprayed with something out of a syringe, she said she would not bow down. She was Minnesota strong, and she would not let people deter her from making her remarks. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this man, Anthony Kaczmarek, and in her remarks, Ilhan Omar says she will not let the bullies win. It's important that we cover some of this news. And if you are new here, welcome. You can always call me, 850-446-0562. Get you right in touch. Shout out to everybody watching on the YouTube side. Welcome. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button. If you're watching on voiceofthecaribbean.com, hey, how are you? You can check me out. I'm here in the studio. Also, Humble Lion is around, Mikey Mike and the team. And we are grateful that you are listening. We're going to cover so many more top news stories, but we got to take a quick break. More right after this.
Caribbean. Better sounding radio. WLYF HD2 Miami, hey, 101.5 HD2.
Wagwan, y'all. Hey, if you're in music, good to see you. Happy you're here. I was running around today, had to go get a passport. I can't find my passport. And I'm trying to plan a cruise for the summer. And I was like, this is not in Trump's America. I got to have my passport.
30 international radio DJs to hear your music. So for everything about the music,
so I'm so glad I went. Let me turn down this. Let me see what I wanted to highlight Ilhan Omar. I started off kind of rocky because, I was just rushing up here, but I wanted to definitely talk about, let me see, what's on the griot. I really want to talk about Ilhan Omar. Nicki Minaj is going to get on my nerves, but I got to talk about her. It is what it is. Trump administration is using her as she, in part, is using them as well. The Democratic strategist Amisha Cross tells the griot. Okay, so what we'll do, I'm going to read a little bit of the griot. Let me get Nicki's audio teed up because she sounded crazy yesterday. Are y'all paying attention to Nicki Minaj? Chop. It is an embarrassment. But I gotta talk about it. Nicki Minaj. Who else did I say I wanted to see? Nicki Minaj and Trump. Chop, please. Looking like a crazy lady. Let me pause it. Pause it. Pause it.
If you have pain in the joints, Nelsia have herbs that can help you. Nelsia's
Is it
herbs.
up? Is it on?
940-8600.
Skip. Let me
954-940-8600.
get it ready. So we're gonna do a little Nikki. We're gonna do a little bit of oh my gosh, I gotta think about all the stuff I'm doing. Next week I'm doing next week. What am I doing next week? Oh, I'm gonna be a part of a Galentine's Day.
The voice of the Caribbean. Follows on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and YouTube.
Yes, tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, this is Suzette Speaks. Well, I'll go on. Tomorrow I have a special guest in studio. I'm gonna leave him let me see. Let me leave him a mystery. He is a local activist. He's a restaurateur. He also just started a run club in the community. I'm so excited to bring him on. So we have a special guest in studio tomorrow. Please know that if you are an entrepreneur or small business owner or some other type of professional, please link me because we will be doing interviews and we would like to highlight your business and let others know about the wonderful work you're doing here in South Florida. If you just joined, welcome. I'm Suzette Speaks, your hostess with the mostest. I come to you every Thursday and Friday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. You know I'm an attorney by training, but I also am a community advocate at heart. I love to talk politics, hot topics, and social media trends. So we got to get on it. I got to play a little bit of, let's go back to Miss Nicki Minaj. If you were following this story, y'all, I do not know what to say about our Trinidadian. Should we still say she's our sister? She's our sister. Nicki Minaj, according to many, we don't know if she's using Trump or if Trump is using her. What do you guys think? Because according to the griot, there is a speculation. We're trying to figure it out. If there is an alternate reason, and we can't get in her head, we have to speculate. Why would Nicki Minaj be aligning herself more and more and very openly now? Because before this, people were speculating. People were wondering, is this who she really politically aligns with or not? Well, she made an appearance with Donald Trump, and then she posted what looks to be a United States gold card. Have you thought about this, or have you heard about this? Yeah, the gold card allows for citizenship if you have enough money. I thought Nicki was a citizen. I don't have confirmation either way, but there are reports that she may be utilizing this attempt to align herself with Donald Trump and the MAGA movement for alternate purposes. And I think the question in a griot article, and you guys know I love the griot.com. It is a Black-owned news outlet with stories that pertain to the diaspora and the communities of our culture around the world and here in the United States. And I just like the way they try to bring us news from a different lens. Well, in a story written called Nicki Minaj appears to confirm suspicions after gifted free Trump gold card for U.S. residency. That's the name of the article on thegriot.com. So in this article, Trump administration is discussed by strategist Amisha Cross, and Amisha is saying, quote, the Trump administration is using her and she, in part, is using them as well. That's according to Democratic strategist Amisha Cross. Okay, in this real article, it's very interesting. I'm going to play you a little bit of what Donald Trump with Nicki Minaj was saying. Did you see the pictures? If you haven't seen, this is the biggest stories trending on social media right now. Nicki Minaj and her long fingernails wrapped in hand. I wanted to say the sweaty, I don't know if his hands are sweaty, but the lumpy, juicy hands of Donald Trump, of Mr. President. And you see them on stage. She had on a very unusual, fluffy, almost, what would you call it? Very statement piece. A white, feathery, very, very pronounced feathery outfit. You couldn't really see her body. It almost looked like an exaggeration from her shoulders to her hips. Like there were feathers everywhere. A full white floor length jacket. Feathered if you can picture it. You can see it for yourself. There again, pictures all online right now with her. And according to the article on the Grill, rapper Nicki Minaj appeared to confirm suspicions behind her very public support for President Donald Trump on Wednesday, revealing that the commander in chief gifted her with a free Trump gold card for a fast track to U.S. residency. Is this what this was about, y'all? Remember, just after her appearance in on the Turning Point couch, the Turning Point event where she sat down with Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica Kirk. Remember, she had to delete her Instagram because I think she lost millions. That was what was reported. She lost millions of followers following that appearance. But yet she's doubling down now, and she took the stage with Donald Trump. So this is what now that she doesn't have an Instagram, this is what Nicki Minaj wrote on X. She wrote, quote, finalizing that citizenship paperwork as we speak. As per my, capital M-Y, this is Nicki Minaj writing, right? My wonderful, gracious, charming president. Thanks to the petition, I wouldn't have done it without you. Oh, Citizen Nika, you are the moment. Gold Trump card free of charge. Minaj wrote on X after joining President Trump at an event highlighting the newly launched quote-unquote Trump accounts for U.S. newborns. Listen to me, y'all. This is a very interesting play because there has been a lot of speculation around social media as to whether Nicki Minaj has been doing this for the purposes of her brother, who also is incarcerated, or even her husband, who has a record, and maybe to look for, expungement or some sort of pardon. People have been speculating, but then I've been reading that she has, and on social media, there are claims, allegedly, of her having openly talked about coming to this country as a child undocumented. So again, when we talk about immigrants and we talk about, almost like in a faceless way, who are these people? They don't belong here. They're criminals. No, they're kids whose parents had a dream for them. And looking at how her tune is changing, is Nicki Minaj cozying up to the president so that she can get a citizenship of the United States. Citizen Nika, you are the moment. Gold Trump card free of charge is what Nicki Minaj wrote on her X account. I'm going to play a little bit of what Trump and Nicki Minaj was up to. If you have not seen this, please do watch it for yourself. This is President Trump making announcements on Trump accounts, right? And I'm going to play it from the Forbes page, YouTube page, because President Trump invited Nicki Minaj on stage at the Trump Account Summit in Washington, D.C. He's saying that I think it was a billionaire who said they were going to sponsor all these newborn accounts. We have to take a quick station ID break, but I'm going to play a little bit of Mr. Trump.
Come on up here. You've been terrific. Come on up.
We're going to take a quick pause.
The Caribbean, better sounding radio. The voice of the Caribbean. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube.
Yes, welcome one and all. This is a 1:30 time check brought to you by BioLife. Make sure you check out biolifenow.com. They have a lot of specials going on. Again, the time is now 1:30, and you're tuned in to the voice of the Caribbean. This is Suzette Speaks. This is my 1 hour chit chat with you. It's always a pleasure to be here. Happy Thursday. It's a thankful Thursday. As I told you as I started the show today, I came running in because I had to go to the passport office. Like many of you, look at your passports, y'all. Look at your paperwork. Make sure it's up to date. In the streets right now, it's very hot. So if you have not taken the time to apply for your citizenship, you might want to consider it. Definitely look at your passport. See if it's expired. I was in that category, and I was here looking for my passport. And I'm like, yo, let me go down to the office. I'm actually grateful. It took me less than an hour to get sorted out. I had already, retaken my picture, filled out my paperwork, And the lady at the office, thank God, hey, we have some wonderful public servants right here in South Florida. So don't let people tell you everything is so. I think I just picked a good day and a good time, a random time on a Thursday to go do it. But I had set, I think I paid for an hour in my parking and I had 3 minutes to spare and I made it to the station. So that was my lunch rendezvous with the passport office. And again, I encourage you to make sure your paperwork, you know where it is and if it's up to date. All right. So as I told you, tomorrow, get ready. We're going to have a special guest here on the Suzette Speaks show. You know, I love to highlight local leaders, political professionals, entrepreneurs, etc. And I have a wonderful entrepreneur that will be joining me tomorrow. He is very much on the health and wellness tip. He has just started a running club. I'm really excited to bring him on. So we got a guest in the studio. And then next week, Friday, hello, I'm so grateful. I will be one of the panelists on a featured Galentine celebration. Yes, join me at Anointing Life, or I think it's called Anointed Life Ministry, South Florida. And that is presented by Pastor Delpha Samuels. I'm super excited that she has invited me. I will be one of two single ladies, and there will also be two married ladies. If you ain't got a date like me for Valentine's Day, that's all right. Don't worry about it, girl. There's always next year. Okay, don't judge. We trying to work on it. But if you don't need a date, honey. Come chill with me on Valentine's or the day before. It's Galentine's, right? So it will be from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. We're going to do a panel discussion, of course, talking about dating, romance, marriage, all that stuff. I don't really speak publicly about, but I was like, I can't tell Pastor Delpha Samuels no. She's amazing. So I will be in the building, and we will also be doing bouquet making. And we'll be making our own flowers for ourselves thanks to a wonderful sponsor. This is all free, y'all. Go on Eventbrite. You can go on my Facebook page. I have it posted as well. It's free. The Valentine's Day celebration is free. Next week, Friday the 13th. Don't worry about that. We don't believe in the spooky, yeah? So myself, along with several other ladies, will be talking about and sharing our stories and encouraging women, of course, tips and all kind of things, right? We're gonna keep it real. I'm excited. Pastor Delpha has assured me, there is no limits to what we can say. I was like, y'all sure y'all want me to talk about dating and relationships and stuff? Because I've been through the fire, through the limb, and through the... Okay, sorry. Little Shaka Khan. But anyway, I have been through the fire, but we stay encouraged. So if you don't have a date like me, come check me out, right? The Valentine's Day celebration at Anointed Life Ministries. I believe it's Hollywood, Florida. But better yet, look up Pastor Delpha, PHA is how you spell her name, Delpha Samuels. Look me up. Suzette Speaks, 1Z, 2 T's, Speaks with an S. Follow me on all platforms. Follow Voice of the Caribbean. Actually, I will be posting it tomorrow. And I'll post a little video clip today to remind y'all that you can sign up. It's ladies only. Hey, we're going to make bouquets. We're going to do a perfume exchange. If you want to participate in that, that's voluntary, but bring a new perfume. So we're going to have perfume and we're going to gift each other, swap it up. You never know what kind of perfume you're going to get. And it's going to be fun. So we always want to keep our ear in the community. Actually, tomorrow night, I also will be attending the Jamaicans.com presented by the city of Miramar Best of Jamaica Awards, right? This is celebrating all of Jamaican diaspora, culture, food, music. And they'll be hosting it in the city of Miramar this year. And I got an invite. Thank you, myself. And I believe Mike will be on board. And we will be, excuse me, I'm going to drink some of my green tea. Yes, the hot green tea. Yo, the weather, guys. Please do know the weather will be getting colder. South Florida was spared starting out with this mega polar, what did it say? Arctic blast that's been all over the country. Actually, I got to take a check on my cousins. I have cousins in Chicago that was telling me, girl, we can't even drive. As well as DC cousins that are like 5 degrees. New York, I have to check on my New York people. How are we in New York? But yes, we're finally going to feel some of that cold here in South Florida. It's been cold this week, but trust me, the cold is still yet to come. That's going to be next week, like Monday, Tuesday. It's going to be very cold down here. I am watching the perp walk. This is why I'm a little bit, if you're watching me on the YouTube, it's 21 degrees in New York, says Andrew online. Shout out to everybody watching me on the YouTube side. Big up everybody. Thank you for checking in. Like the video. Please share it and comment if you would. But I'm watching the perp walk right now on NBC6 of, as I told you at the top of the show, I started with a very serious story because it really bothered me. A young student at Florida Memorial University was sexually battered on campus on Sunday. She was at a bus stop earlier in the morning, right outside the gates of Florida Memorial, which is the only HBCU in South Florida. And she saw a man whistling at her, went back behind the gate, and inside the guard gate, he followed her, pursued her, sexually assaulted her. Well, he has been apprehended, or an alleged suspect, he's innocent until proven guilty, has been apprehended. He is doing the perp walk right now at a Miami-Dade courthouse. The City of Miami Gardens police are now reporting his bail has been set at $500,000. And I'm just so happy. And again, he was connected to her assault via DNA, as well as through the vigilance of the neighborhood. People were on edge. You know, the community watch was for real, for real. So we just want to give thanks and to the City of Miami Gardens police, as well as the whole entire community, for trying to bring this suspect to justice. Again, he is innocent until proven guilty. He has been named as Stephen Rivers, 30 years old, was taken into custody on Tuesday in connection with the case, according to Miami Gardens police. Again, he is the alleged suspect, innocent until proven guilty. But again, this was a heinous crime committed against a student at Florida Memorial University. And I am happy to hear that there has been an arrest, right? Thanks to tipsters, Opelika police, Miami Gardens police, of this suspicious man that was walking around, and they have apprehended Stephen Rivers, who we will see. He will have his day in court, right? And I hope, you know, this brings some sense of peace to that young lady. Really bothered me, that case. So quick apprehension on that, and we will see in the court of law if he's proven guilty. But bigger than that story, I mean, that story is big for us down here. But what is taken, I should say, equally as big to us here in South Florida is the presentation we saw yesterday with President Donald Trump and rap superstar, Trinidadian born, Nicki Minaj. We're talking about her. She's a part of the diaspora, of course. And she was at a press conference with Mr. Donald J. Trump, and people are still quite shocked by it. I don't know if everybody's shocked. How are you? Are you a Barb? Or that's what Nicki Minaj's followers are called. Barbies. Barb's been kind of quiet. If you're a Barb, you could call up here, 850-446-0562. Is this changing how you view her? Is her legacy tarnished? Now, I'm going to play a little bit of Donald Trump yesterday at this press conference. According to Forbes, he was inviting, I believe it's Kevin O'Leary, the guy from Shark Tank. They call Mr. Wonderful, you know, the show, The Shark Tank. He also has become very pro-Trump. And so has Onika Mirage, also known by her stage name, Nicki Minaj. And here is Mr. Trump welcoming Mr. Wonderful. Let's hear a little bit from the press conference directly as he brings up Nicki Minaj in her fur and feather. The fur and feather outfit, I'm not sure. Anyway, here's the comments that she made. And again, it made many uncomfortable.
Hello. Well, I don't know what to say, but I will say that
This is the all-new voice of the Caribbean. Better sounding radio. WLYF.
We're going to take a pause. More right after the break.
HD2.
Looking for a new car? Looking for a used car? Check out M&J Auto Sales. My bad. Oh, God, I've been saying it wrong. M&J United Auto Sales.
Okay, cut right into my thing. Y'all, I'm hungry. I'm hungry, and I wanted some sushi. You ever had some cravings that, like... I want some sushi. I'm gonna get some sushi after this, I think. We'll see. But I play in the clip and then we get right to commercial. That's how I go.
930-934-530-9366. No credit, no problem. Everybody rides.
It's on.
No, no.
This on.
No. Which one is the commercial? This one? Oh, it's finished anyway. She said the commercial because that's supposed to be nothing to do with
What
you.
happened?
No, it's fine. To be short. I thought it was long.
Yes, good afternoon and welcome back. It's the Suzette Speaks show. Thank you once again for tuning in. We have so much to talk about. I have to be jumping from topic to topic. Of course, we saw Marco Rubio, the former United States Senator from Florida, give testimony before Congress yesterday as well on what's happening in Venezuela. I hope you are tuned into that. It was very interesting. I'll play a couple of highlights. But before we go to Marco Rubio, I want to welcome you. If you just tuned in, the time is now 1:41, brought to you by BioLife. Make sure you check them out, biolifenow.com, for all of your health and wellness products. Remember, BioLife does not presume to diagnose any or treat any particular ailment. You know, you use it at your own discretion, but please do visit biolifenow.com, biolifenow.com. You'll hear more about them at the top of the hour. Well, as I was getting ready, the commercial breaks be throwing me off a little bit, y'all. I'm not going to lie, because we used to have 2, now we have 3, but that's a good thing, right? More advertisers is good for us. Remember, you too can advertise here on Voice of the Caribbean. I've touched on the 2 patrol agents that took the life of ICU nurse Alex Preddy in Minnesota. According to the Department of Homeland Security, they have been placed on leave. Of course, now what's circulating and trending on social media is there is a video of Mr. Alex Preddy, the same nurse that lost his life about 11 days before the infamous shooting where his life was taken by these agents, these federal ICE agents. He was involved in an altercation or some kind of incident with ICE officials also in Minnesota. They have now released that video, or it has now been released, and it's also on social media. Take a look at both. I do not think that still justifies, even though his incident 11 days prior showed him being, I would say, in a more aggressive posture with ICE. They had a exchange. He kicked the ICE vehicle. He kicked the ICE tail light. He was brought down, but the agents in the first altercation let him go and left the scene. But in the second altercation where he lost his life, he was not being combative. He was not in any way, it didn't appear to me, according to video, showing aggression towards agents. He was recording and he was putting his body between himself and a woman that he apparently saw was being accosted and even harassed by ICE. So I don't know that the second video that has now been released of his first incident with ICE 11 days prior to his killing is mitigating or in any way impacts how the public should view how the second incident went down. It was terrible the way he lost his life at the hands of federal agents, and he's one of many now, just as of January, that have lost their lives in the hands of ICE, both citizen and residents and undocumented folks. So it's really, really concerning right now. People are still watching what's happening at the ICE protests. We are going to stay on top of that for you. But I do want to pivot back to President Trump delivering remarks yesterday on Wednesday alongside the one and only, what they say, the queen of rap. The queen of rap. The one and only Nicki Minaj. Now, people are wondering, what is Miss Onika Mirage up to? Known better by her stage name, Nicki Minaj. She was called on stage by President Trump, where she sent a message to the haters. I'm going to play a little bit for you. I know we got cut off a little bit after the commercial break, but here is what she had to say. Mr. Trump was delivering remarks about trumpaccounts.gov, which is, I think, every newborn is supposed to be getting a Trump account, but that does not help with day-to-day bills and gas prices and food prices and electric prices and inflation in general and tariffs. What you gonna give how much money? Well, anyway, this is what, according to Forbes YouTube page, Miss Nicki Minaj had to say.
Hello.
the president's #1 fan. And that's not going to change. And the hate or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me to support him more. And it's going to motivate all of us to support him more. We're not going to let them get away with bullying him and, the smear campaigns. It's not going to work, okay? He has a lot of force behind him, and God is protecting him. Amen. Okay.
Me no know what that. Me no know what that. That's the only way I could respond to that. She said a sentence and then she started pointing off to the stage as if somebody was telling her, should I go? Should I go? It almost looked like nerves. I don't know that there was an actual person saying that the bullies are not going to get to Trump. If you see, please watch the video. Mr. Trump looks happy as a lark right behind her. I don't know. He's smiling from ear to ear. I mean, and then Kevin O'Leary is also on the stage. She made just that brief, sentence and a half, few sentences, calling out the haters. For those who are against her, it's just going to be stronger. My. I don't know what to think about it. But going back to thegrio.com, again, the Grio is one of my favorite news outlets. Black-owned, is a news platform. Website, thegrio.com. There is an interesting article I just wanted to bring to your attention, written called Nicki Minaj appears to confirm suspicions after gifted a free Trump gold card for U.S. residency. According to Democratic strategist Amisha Cross, who's being interviewed by the Grio in this article, the Trump administration is using her, and she, in part, is using them as well. Rapper Nicki Minaj, according to thegrio.com, appeared to confirm suspicions behind her very public support for President Trump on Wednesday, revealing that the commander-in-chief gifted her with a free Trump gold card for a fast track to U.S. residency. Again, on her Twitter, Miss Minaj wrote, quote, finalizing that citizenship paperwork as we speak, as per my, capital M-Y, wonderful, gracious, charming president. Thanks to the petition. I wouldn't have done it without you. Oh, Citizen Nika, you are the moment. Gold Trump card free of charge. My God, wrote Minaj on her X, I say Twitter, X, after joining President Trump at what you just heard, an event highlighting the newly launched Trump accounts for U.S. newborns. That ain't helping nobody. Minaj, according to the Grio, who later joined Trump at the White House and greeted a group of MAGA auto workers inside of the Oval Office, also shared an image of herself. This is what I'm with the long nails on the card. Shared an image of herself holding the gold card emblazoned with Trump's face and signature. The disgraced, according to the Grio, now this is their words, the disgraced hip-hop star's Trump gold card will almost certainly fuel public scrutiny over her controversial decision to publicly support Trump more than 2 months ago. Critics of the rapper, who was born in Trinidad, have suggested that her MAGA transformation was a political ploy to gain citizenship and perhaps secure a presidential pardon, according to the Grio, for her husband, Kenneth Petty, who is a convicted sex offender, and brother, who was convicted of child rape and sentenced to 25 years in prison. Now, this is what, listen, the social media streets been saying it. This is according to a reputable source, thegrio.com. The article is exploring why Nicki Minaj has taken such a unique turn in the last few months, overtly supporting more right, when we say right, we mean Republican, and left mean Democrat, or more right-wing politics. Now, according to the Grio, quote, This is according to journalist Don Lemon. They're quoting, quote, Nicki Minaj has many, many issues that would lead one to believe that those issues are possibly the reason that she's cozying up to MAGA right now, according to Don Lemon, who recently publicly clashed with the rapper online. Under Donald Trump's rule, she should be picked up, detained, and deported. That's what Don Lemon was saying. So if we follow what Trump says he stands for as far as the immigration policy he has been promoting and been promoted by his cabinet, Nicki Minaj has said publicly prior to now that she had come here undocumented or so-called illegally. So if we could have someone, again, whose parents had a dream coming to this country, weren't documented at the time, she grew up here, New York, and has become one of the most successful women in the rap game of her generation, but does not have the documentation it sounds like to be in this country legally. So Don Lemon is commenting here, being quoted in the Griot, that under Donald Trump's rules, she should be picked up, detained, and deported. But what do we see her doing instead, y'all? Well, according to Democratic strategist Amisha Cross in the Griot's article, the rules, however, are apparently different if you're Nicki Minaj, and that's by design. According to Democratic strategists, is what Cross is telling the Griot. Quote, the Trump administration is using her, and she is in part using them as well. It's a symbiotic. You remember symbiosis you learned about in science? What was that, middle school? One animal eats off the other animal, and the other animal allows it to clean. Yeah, you remember symbiotic and symbiosis from school days? Is this a symbiotic? You know, people that live, what was the name of that fish that lives in the coral? Oh, the anemone and the clownfish. That's very popular and taught in Florida. The sea anemone is a beautiful animal that will bite or sting, looking like a waving coral. But the clownfish is the only one immune to the sting, and the clownfish is able to use the anemone to hide in. So he swims into the anemone, running from predators, and then the sea anemone bites the predator. It itself is allowed to eat. The clownfish is allowed to eat. Everybody eating. All right, come off of that. So what we hear in the Griot saying, it's a symbiotic relationship where they feel like they both, right, get a certain level of gain. Cross tells the Griot. This is, again, a Democratic strategist that's being interviewed. She said of the Trump administration, they've always wanted to have somebody, quote, in pop culture. They typically have B or C lists and down bad artists. Oh gosh, down artists. So at this point, they're trying to get somebody who has a bigger name and brand. Well, and while many Black Americans, according to the Griot, largely tuned out or canceled Minaj, according to strategist Cross, she argued that the Trump administration likely sees value in touting the rapper's support. The Griot continues, quote, they recognize that even though they've pushed this anti-DEI, anti-Blackness, anti-equity platform for the longest, that Black culture isn't leaving. So I think there is a push to try to get more Black people in the celebrity realm to actually be spokespeople. Now, if you know that the Trump administration has been anti-Black, anti-DEI, anti-equity, are you making a conscious decision to stand up on stage in support of someone who has those policies? And if you are, what is your reasoning? Now, this is all speculative because nobody really knows what's going on inside Nicki Minaj's mind. But she posted the gold card. Did y'all see it? You can look it up on social media. And according to the Griot, Minaj is quote unquote free. Is it free? When you sell out, is it free? It costs you your legacy. Is it free? First of all, shout out to the Jamaicans in the Winter Olympics. Did y'all see the Jamaican bobsledders walking into the Olympic Games in 2026 Milano Cortina Games? An International Olympic Committee is now in session in Italy. February 6th, I think, is the official kickoff in Milano Cortina, I think is how you say it. The Olympic game, Milan Cortina 2026. Are you watching? Will you be watching? I'll be watching the bobsledders. And what's the other? They have another one where it's called, I want to say the right name of the sport. Where you laying on the sled by yourself. There's a name for it. I don't want to say the wrong name. But Jamaica's gonna be in that too. Shout out to, what are the names? What's his name? Taekwondo, Tracy, and those others. They used to be sprinters, like on the track and field team, like 100-meter dash runners. And listen, they're putting the skills to use, and they taking it to the bobsled. Big up all of the countrymen them, including Taekwondo, Tracy, and many others. The ladies, too, have a full team that are going to the Winter Olympics. Shout out to all of the diaspora celebrating the Winter Olympics appearance of Jamaica. And I'm really excited to watch it. Y'all remember Cool Runnings? Feel the rhythm, feel the ride. Come on, it's Jamaican bobsled time. Y'all know the movie. Listen, real life. Is it? Wait, no. Real life imitates art, but it was real life first before it was art. Yeah, man. So will you be watching some of the Milan Cortina 2026? I will be. I find it interesting. The bobsledding is very interesting to me too. And even the curling. I'll be watching stuff. The slalom and the different what do they call it? Like the ski jumping. It's very interesting. And again, these are world-class athletes. So we're gonna keep an eye on that and report to you on that. But yeah, back to Nicki Minaj. Miss will run out of time. Remember, tomorrow I have a special guest in studio talking health and wellness. I'm really excited for that and how he's making a difference in the community. Really Rasta. I cannot wait for him to be. I think he might be bringing in some friends as well. Started a run club. We're going to talk health and wellness. I'm really excited for that. As well as, don't forget, next week, the Friday the 13th, we don't do nothing spooky around here. Suzette Speaks, a part of a wonderful Galentine's Day. The day before Valentine's, we call it Galentine's, the homegirls, the girlfriend's day, right? Big up my sister and them. If you don't have a date like me, don't be ashamed. Okay, we didn't get asked out for Valentine's. I had a weird one last year. I told you about my weird date last year, but I don't have a date this year. Okay, don't be mad. Don't be judging me. It didn't work out that way, right? So we still have an opportunity, though, to get together, celebrate one another, and show each other love, right? So the girls will be getting together at Anointed Life Ministries. It is a free event coming up next Friday. Just RSVP on Eventbrite. You can check out my Facebook page, Suzette Speaks, 1Z, 2 T's, Speaks with an S, ladies only. We're going to be talking all things love and marriage and dating and giving you some real feedback. Hey. 2 married women, 2 single women on the panel hosted by Pastor Delpha Samuels. I'm so excited. Shout out to Pastor Delpha. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be nice. So we're going to do our thing next Friday. Check it out. I'm going to post it as well as on Voice of the Caribbean. So you guys can check it out there. But you must RSVP. It's free. We're going to have free bouquet making flower arrangements for ourselves, as well as a perfume exchange. If you want to participate in that, just bring an unused bottle of perfume, and we're going to be exchanging gifts and stuff. And food. Free everything, man. Free food. There's a perfume, not free. You have to bring that. But yeah, what do you think about Nicki Minaj? Yeah, we see a lot of feedback. I'm going to read maybe a couple more quotes. Minaj is free. Trump gold card saves the rapper 7 figures since, oh my God, the recipient of a gold card typically have to make $1 million contribution after a background check. She ain't have to pay that. Yeah, we got to go. Love y'all. Suzette Speaks tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Love you.
WLYF HD2 Miami, 101.5 HD2.
W245BC, Lauderdale Lakes, 96.9 FM, the all-new voice of the Caribbean.
God Bless Promotion presents Luciano the Messenger, live in concert. It's me
again. I'm so happy you came. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Y'all have a good one. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye. I don't want to get a copyright.